Welcome to Niga MedGuide. Today we are going to discuss anatomy and physiology of stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped, muscular, dilated portion of the alimentary canal located in the left upper quadrant and occupying the epigastric, left hypochondric, and umbilical region of the abdominal cavity. Let's talk about its relations or associated organs that helps us understand the exact location of the stomach in the abdominal cavity. So anteriorly or towards the front side, stomach is associated with left lobe of liver and anterior abdominal wall. Posteriorly or towards the back side, stomach is in relation with abdominal aorta, pancreas, spleen, left kidney, and adrenal gland. Superiorly or towards the upper side, stomach is associated with diaphragm, esophagus, and left lobe of liver. Inferiorly or towards the lower side, transverse colon and small intestine are the associated organ of the stomach. Towards the left side, stomach is associated with diaphragm and spleen. Towards the right side, stomach is associated with liver and duodenum. Structure of the stomach. Stomach is continuous with the esophagus above at the cardiac sphincter or lower esophageal sphincter that controls the movement of food from the esophagus to the stomach, and with the duodenum below at the pyloric sphincter that controls the movement of food from stomach to the small intestine. Stomach has two curvatures, lesser curvature and greater curvature. Lesser curvature is the shorter, concave, and forms the medial border of the stomach. Greater curvature is the longer, convex, and forms the lateral border of the stomach. Stomach has four main anatomical parts that are cardia, fundus, body, and pylorus. Cardia is the small area surrounding the cardiac orifice where esophagus connects to the stomach. Fundus is the dome-shaped, rounded upper part of the stomach. Body is the main central portion of the stomach between the fundus and the pylorus. Pylorus is the lower portion that connects the stomach to the small intestine. Walls and layers of the stomach. Like the rest of the alimentary canal, stomach has also four similar layers of the tissues but with some modifications. These layers of tissues from inside to outside are mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa or muscle layer, and serosa or adventitia. Mucosa is the most innermost layer made up of columnar epithelium and consists of gastric pits that lead into the gastric glands. There are many gastric cells that secrete gastric juice. Modification in the mucosa is that when the stomach is empty, then mucous membrane is thrown into the longitudinal folds known as rugae that give the surface velvety and smooth appearance. Deep to mucosa is the submucosa made up of connective tissue consisting blood vessels, lymphatics, glands, nerve plexus such as Meissner plexus. Deep to submucosa is the muscularis externa or the muscle layer. This is unique as it contains three layers of smooth muscle instead of two that usually found in the rest of the alimentary canal. These three layers of the smooth muscle are outer layer of longitudinal fibers, middle layer of circular fibers, and the inner layer of oblique fiber. This modification help in churning and mixing function of the stomach for food and also in peristaltic movements. The most outermost layer is the serosa or adventitia, that is visceral peritoneum made up of connective tissue, and it surrounds the stomach and prevent friction from the surrounding organs during peristaltic movement of the stomach. Blood supply. Arterial supply is by left gastric artery, a branch of celiac artery, right gastric artery, and gastroepiploic arteries. Venous drainage is by gastric veins that drain into the portal vein. From there, portal circulation starts. That is the another topic. Nerve supply. Parasympathetic supply arises from the vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve. In the rest and digest condition, parasympathetic stimulation leads to increased gastric secretion, increased gastric motility, and relaxation of pyloric sphincter. Sympathetic supply arises from the celiac plexus. In the fight or flight condition, sympathetic stimulation leads to decreased gastric motility, decreased gastric secretions, and contraction of the pyloric sphincter. And these all mechanisms ultimately affect the digestive functions. Functions of the stomach. Stomach temporarily stores the ingested food. It takes part in the chemical digestion by secreting the enzyme pepsin that breaks down the proteins into polypeptide. Mechanical breakdown also occurs in the stomach because of its three muscular layers that are outer longitudinal, middle circular, and inner oblique layers. Because of these layers, stomach act as a churn. Gastric juice is added into the food, and finally food is converted into the chyme. Limited absorption of water, alcohol, and some drugs also occur in the stomach. Stomach also secrete a hormone, that is gastrin, that stimulates the production of hydrochloric acid. It also provides the non-specific defense against microbes because of this hydrochloric acid. It also prepares the iron for the absorption because acidity in the stomach solubilizes the iron salts that is essential for its absorption. Stomach also secretes intrinsic factor that is essential for the absorption of vitamin B12 in the ileum. Stomach also controls the movement of food from the stomach to the duodenum. When the chyme is sufficiently liquefied and acidified, then it is moved from the stomach to the duodenum through pyloric sphincter. If you found my video helpful, then kindly subscribe, like, and share my channel. Thank you for watching.